Hi guys, how are you? Hope you are doing fine. In this video, we are going to start by a new lesson. The title for our lesson is How does heat affect some objects? As you know, objects can be solid, liquid, or gas. So, let us first look at the objectives. What should I know from this lesson? We have to describe how heat can affect solids, liquids, and gases. Are you ready to learn more about this lesson? It's very nice. You can bring your book and open it on page 130 to start our lesson together. And if you don't have your book, I will upload the pages so you can just print them and you can solve them with me. So let us start. As I said, guys, page 130 to start our lesson. How does heat affect liquids? To answer this question, we have to make a small activity. You can do it, it's not hard. Try to do the experiment. First, I put water inside the bottle and color it with the food coloring. It's not a problem if you don't have food coloring, so you can put only water. Part 2. I place the straw in the bottom. I use modeling clay to seal the bottle, hold the straw in place and tape the index card to the straw. The third step, I mark the card to show where the water level is. Then, I move my thermometer to the sunny place and observe what happens to the water level in the straw. Then, I mark the card to show the new water level. I check my thermometer at different times of day to see how the temperature varies. What is the result now? What is the result? As you see here, we have two pictures. The first one, I did the experiment at the first time. I get the water level as you see here, which is P1. This is the water level. When I put this bottle in a sunny place, or I turn on the fire, what happens to this water level? Does the water level rise up or it gets down? Here we have level P1. This is the initial level. After I heat the water, what happens? We get P3. This is the new level of the water. What do you conclude from here? Can you tell me what do you conclude? What happens when I heat the water? The water increases in size or decreases? The level of water increase or decrease? As we see, the level of water increases. The level of water increases. So as we heat the water, or when water is heated, it expands. Expands means it takes more space because the water cannot able to take the space from here and from here. There is glass, so the water can get up when it needs more space, so it get up in order to give us this level. So when water is heated, it expands. Expands means takes more space. Good. Let us practice this exercise related to the experiment. In your book, page 131, you have to place a closed soda can in the hot sun for 2 hours. Observe what happens to it. You can do this experiment. It's so easy. Just you can bring a closed soda can and you put it under the sunlight for 2 hours. What happens to it? It will increase in size or it will decrease in size. Try to think, what do we have inside this can? We have liquid and also we have gas. So, as we learned about water, when I heat the water, it expands. Here the same, the liquid which is found inside this can, when is heated, it expands. To where? It has to go to outside. It is closed. There is a closed can. So they expand and they will allow the can to increase in size from here, and maybe a little bit from here. So the soda can will expand and enlarge. Can you explain why? You have to write explanation here. That's because we have liquid and we have gas. What happens to the liquid when it's heated? It expands. It takes more space. So, to take more space, the soda can will become enlarged. So, what should I write? This is due to the expansion of the liquid and the gases inside it when heated by the sun rays. Don't forget, because there is liquid inside this can, and when I heat the liquid, it expands. Because there is no space to take it here except the can itself. So what happens to the can? It will expand and will become enlarged in size. And you can do this experiment and you can see it using your eyes. Now guys, let us move to the new idea. How does heat affect gases? To understand this well, you can do this experiment. It's easy. You have only balloon, empty flask, hot water, and you can use also the cold water. So, let us observe the experiment together. As you see, we have empty flask and a balloon. I place the empty flask inside the hot water. What happens here? What do we have inside the empty flask? There is air. So the air particles inside the flask will get heated. So as a result, these gases they expand and they inflate the balloon by what? By raising upward. So they inflate the balloon. But if I place this flask inside the cold water, what happens? The balloon is deflated because also the gas particles here they contract. So they take less space and they get downward again. So the balloon deflated. So we conclude here the gas particles also can be heated, and when they are heated they can expand, they take more space. The same, if they cannot able to move at the sides, they can go upward. And what do we have up? We have balloon. So when these gas particles enter through this balloon, they will become or they will inflate the balloon. So now guys, solve the question page 133. Part A. What do you think will happen to the balloon when the flask is placed in a bowl of very hot water? Experiment, then write down your observation. You can do the experiment as we see in the video. We have to place an empty flask, put a balloon at the tip of this flask, then place it in the hot water. What happens? What do you observe? We see that the balloon is inflated because The gas particles which are found inside the flask are heated, so they expand to take more space. They cannot able to take a space around the flask, so they take a space upward by inflating the balloon. So what should I write? When the flask is placed in a bowl of hot water, air particles inside the flask will get heated. As a result, the balloon is expanded and inflated. Good. What do we have next? Next exercise. You have to go down to the playground, blow two balloons at exactly the same size. Place one balloon in a shady place and the next place it in a sunny place. An hour later, observe the size of the two balloons. Which balloon become more inflated and why? As you know, the two balloons of the same size. I put the first one, for example, in the drawer or in the closet, for example, and the next balloon I put it outside under the sunlight. So, which one will become more inflated? The one in a shady place or the one in the sunny place? And tell me why. This exercise, you can answer it on a paper and you can stick it to the page because there is no space here to write the answer. Now, which one will become more inflated? The sunny place. Excellent. The one that I place it inside the sunny place. Why? Because the gas particles which are found inside the balloon, they started to heat. And when the gas particles are heated, they expand. They need more space. So what happens to the balloon? It will become more inflated. Excellent. So what should I write? The balloon that was placed in a sunny place will look more inflated because air particles inside the balloon were heated by the sun, so they expand to fill more space. Good. The case we have, how does heat affect solids? Look well to this experiment. I have to use ball and ring. As you see, the ball can pass through the ring. Now what should I do? I have to heat this metal ball for about 2 minutes or 3 minutes. I can heat it strongly for 3 minutes. Then what should I put? I have to allow it to pass through the ring. Does it move? Does it able to pass through the ring? As you see, no. What happens to this ball? It increases in size. But it again, when the ball is cool, can it able to pass through the ring? Let us see. It can move. It contracts and slip through the ring once again. So it can able to pass through the ring. So what do we conclude here? The solid also can expand when is heated. So the solid can expand when heated and it increases in size. Excellent, guys. So the same exercise. How does heat affect solid? I have cold ball. It can able to move through the ring, but when I heat the ball, it cannot able to pass through the ring. How did heat affect the metal ball? What happens to the ball when I heat it? It increases in size. Excellent. It expands. So what should I write? The metal ball enlarged in size and it expands. Good. What do we have next? As you see here, we have two examples. Here we have just to read them to understand what happens for the solid when is heated. You can read them. I will read part B and C here, then you can read the other examples in other page. If a lid of a glass jar is tight, holding it under hot water for a short time will make it easier to open. So hot water will cause the lid to expand. As you know, to open this jar, I can put only this jar, the opening of this jar, the lid, under the hot water. What happens? The lid will expand and I can open the jar easily. Another example, in the picture, some workers are trying to reconnect the rails that have separated due to extreme cold. To fix the problem, the workers have lit an oil-soaked rope that lies next to the truck, as you see inside the picture. The heat of the fire will cause the trucks to expand so they can be reconnected once again. So, just from these two examples, we can conclude that even if I heat the solid, what happens? The solid can expand and it can increase in size. Page 135. I have to circle the letter of the correct answer for this exercise. How can you let the metal rod which is too tight fit into the hole of the metal cylinder? As you see, we have rod and we have cylinder. I have to put this rod inside this cylinder. How? By heat the rod and the cylinder. If I heat both of them, can I put the metal rod inside the cylinder? If I heat rod, it will increase in size. The same, if I heat the cylinder, it will increase in size. So I cannot able to put them. Now, part B. Heat the rod and cool the cylinder. If I heat the rod, it will expand, it increases in size. But if I cool the cylinder, it contracts and decreases in size. So the first one is big, the next one is small. Can I place it? Can I put the rod inside the cylinder? The rod is big, but the cylinder is small. Can they enter through each other? Sure, no. The third part, which is C, cool the rod and heat the cylinder. If I cool the rod, it contracts and decreases in size. And if I heat the cylinder, it what expands and increases in size. So now the rod is small in size, but the cylinder is bigger. So can I put the rod inside the cylinder in this case? Yes. So what is the correct answer here? C. So I have to heat the cylinder and cool the rod. Bravo, guys. What do we have next? Why are telephone and power lines allowed to sag when they are strung between poles in summer? As you know, they are sag. Why? Because what happens in winter? They will contract, and when they contract, they become shorter. So we have to write because they will contract in cold winter. Excellent. Can you draw now the wires, how they will appear in winter? First, I have to draw two poles. Then the wire will be straight or will bend down. In winter, they will contract. So they will become straight. Excellent. So the wires will appear in winter. by this way. What do we Part C now, page 136. In step 1, you have to fix a metal wire between two poles. Step 2, move the poles away so that the wire is too tight. In part 1, figure out a way to make the wire bend down. How should I make the wire bend down? To make them bend down, which means I have to increase their size. And how should I increase the size? By heating them. Excellent. So what should I write? I have to heat the wire to make it loose and bend down. Good. Now, figure out a way to make the metal tight again. When I said tight again, they have to decrease in size. To decrease them in size, they have to contract. So, how? By heat them. When I heat anything, it will expand, may take more space. So, what should I do? What is the opposite of heating? I have to cool them. Excellent. So, let the wire cool and it will contract. Can you explain why? Yes, sure. Because heat causes the wire to expand and bend down. So when it cools, the wire will contract and become tight again. So what do we conclude? Most liquids, solids, and gases expand when they are heated. But when an object expands, it increases in size. Don't forget that. Finally, guys, hope you understand well the video. Now you can solve your worksheet. The worksheet is from your book. You can find it in page 138, 139, and 140. If you don't have your book, you can find it in your application. Thank you guys for your watching. Now, goodbye.